All right, here we go. Welcome, you guys. It's Donovan Sadiq, the Donovan Sadiq Show. And once again, I know a lot of people have been telling me, Donovan, when are you going to do your show? When are you going to be out there and do it? A lot of political stuff is happening. But if you saw my video last week, I told you Bernie Sanders was going to burn it up. Now, I'm not voting for Bernie. I'm not voting for Bernie at all. However, 3 hours into the Nevada primary, and they called it, all the major networks, and the establishment Democrats are pissed off. And notice that the established Democrats are now using the Republican talking points of, oh, socialism is this, and it's going to just bad, and it's just, oh, it's just terrible, whatever. But like I've been telling you guys, socialism, Social Security, that's socialism. Medicaid, that's socialism. It is so sad that so many people do not understand how socialism works. Socialism is an economic system, just like capitalism is an economic system. But they're hollering about socialism, but nobody's talking about corporate socialism. We give billions and billions of dollars to these corporations and to the military-industrial complex, right? So if we were really involved in a capitalist system, when the banks started losing all that money in 2007, why did we have to bail them out? Wouldn't that be called socialism? Exactly. So now you've got Generation Fail, the baby boomers, that are saying, oh my goodness, we can't let this guy, anybody but Trump. When a system is not working, you don't keep going over the cliff and just say, hopefully it'll work out. It worked out for the baby boomers. They got their money. They got their houses. I'm a Generation Xer. I've got my house. And the only reason I got my house is because I joined the military and I had good parents that kind of steered me where I needed to go. So I have those benefits that back me up. The United States government backs me up. Generation Fail, you will find, are raising their grandchildren. Why? Because they put themselves in a position to where, hey, we've got all this money now and all these opportunities. So now they skipped over my generation, Generation X, and now they're dealing with the millennials. Now the millennials are coming of age. Do you guys realize that millennials cannot buy a home on their own without their parents' help or grandparents' help? Think about that. We are 12 years from zero as black people. Not people of color, black people. There's a big difference. So you have all of these people out here today, and if you watch the news today, forget the Harvey Weinstein thing. That's a different issue. We're talking about serious political and economic issues that are going to affect you. James Clyburn, he's number 3 in the Democratic hierarchy, right? James Clyburn. He is endorsing Joe Biden. Now, Joe Biden in South Carolina, overwhelmingly, oh, look, all the blacks are behind me. The Democrats know they can't win anything without the black vote. We've been giving our black vote to the Democratic Party for over 60 years, and we are now 12 years from zero wealth. When you are 12 years from zero wealth, what does that mean? I'll give you a hint. It means you're a slave. You're a problem. That's what happens when you don't have any wealth. So people say, individually, as black people, we're doing okay. But we got to stop grouping ourselves with everybody else. I was watching a black show. I think it was Sister Circle or one of these shows that is owned by the white network, whatever. And it's not a black or white thing. This is all about economics. There was a Hispanic lady on a black show talking about DACA and what they're going to do and how, the NAACP and all these black organizations are going to help them. Last I checked, there is a Hispanic caucus in Congress, and they should be helping themselves. When was the last time you saw an Asian representative or a Hispanic representative up in arms about a black man being shot down in the street? Doesn't happen. They practice group economics. We need to practice group economics. I'm not mad at him. If she could get a few dumb blacks to follow her and champion her causes, good for her. But we have to stop letting these people group us into a group, people of color. We are not people of color. We are black. And we have a specific agenda, just like the Hispanics have a specific agenda, just like the Asians have a specific agenda, just like the Trumpers have a specific agenda. Everybody has their own agenda, and that's human nature. So here we are, 12 years from zero, and you don't see none of the congressional black talkers talking about anything. What do they say? Oh, Kobe, oh, his memorial, oh, the Harvey Weinstein thing. All of these things are being thrown at us to where our issues are always last on the bus. Now, I've been saying it for years, and you guys know I've been saying it. I hate it. It's a curse. You know, when you're right 97% of the time, it's a curse. I hate it. I hate being right most of the time. But I told you so. But I'm not speaking for me. I'm speaking for those that can't speak for themselves. As these millennials get older and older, they see no future. 12 years from zero, where are the black leaders to say, hey, hold on, what's going on? What's happening here? They're not. They're just worried about what they can get. Now, your girl, Auntie Maxine, who 30 years ago ran on, I'm going to work on reparations, getting us reparations and stuff like that. It's 30 years later, and Auntie Maxine is worth over $80 million. And they keep voting her dumb ass into Congress. But her district is one of the worst in the country. We've said this over and over and over and over again. So, you know, I don't know what it's going to take, what kind of panic it's going to take. Maxine Waters District. Do you know where that new pro NFL stadium is being built or is built? It's going to be done in a couple of months in Maxine Waters District. And I can almost guarantee you Maxine Waters gets political donations from the very developers that have built that stadium. Now, in the course of building that stadium, if you're not from California, you wouldn't know this stuff because you guys are probably out there in Texas where you got big spaces and they could just move and build a stadium next to the old stadium. We don't have that here in California. Maxine Waters' constituents were gentrified out of the district. Now, here's the thing. Maxine Waters is what, 180, 200 years old? However old she is. Do you think she really cares? Now that the blacks have moved out, and they've moved out here to the Inland Empire where I live, and then they could barely afford the homes here, so they're going to keep moving east. A lot of black people are moving south, because if you think about it, and I've been telling you guys this living here in California, you don't really see black people in California anymore. You really don't. You know, I mean, I know my history. California used to be Mexico. I have no problem seeing a bunch of brown people and things like that around here. But when I was growing up here, you saw a good abundance of black people, and you don't see us anymore. The local NAACP, what do they have to say about it? These black pastors, what do they have to say about it? No, we have pastors here in the Inland Empire that worry about being on the preachers of LA. The preachers, you know, they're all about the money. You know, they want a highball, you know. Have you ever wondered why a preacher dresses like a pimp? Have you ever wondered that? Because they have the same verbiage. And why is it? Show me a pastor that was rich, and he said, oh my God, the Lord called me and I came and I gave up my millions of dollars and I came to serve the Lord. No, the black community, we get these guys that, well, I used to be a drug dealer, so, you know, I'm out here and now I got the Lord, or I used to be a pimp myself, so da-da-da-da-da, right? And so here he is. He just took his skill of talking and put it to the congregation to where now he's making legal money. I guess he got tired of going to jail or, you know, running women or whatever he was doing. But this is the kind of stuff that we deal with here in the Inland Empire. So you got your James Clyburn. He's number 3 in the Democratic hierarchy. And he gets his orders from Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, she's been in politics for over 30 years. When Nancy Pelosi came into office, she wasn't even worth a $500,000. Do you know how much Nancy Pelosi is worth right now? $300 million and counting. And when I give you these numbers, that isn't the family. That is the individual person. How can a public figure be worth $300 million on the public dime? Nobody ever asks these questions. But here we are, ringing the alarm. We're 12 years from zero. But they put up these leaders, let's say Kamala Harris. If you're not from California, you wouldn't even know what Kamala Harris's record was. This woman was terrible when it came to the justice system here. She locked up innocent. There's a man still locked up, from my understanding, and she won't let him out. But now she's a senator, so it's not her problem. But she had one of the worst records as a prosecutor. She was against body cams. I mean, when she ran for president, I just laughed my ass off because it was like, really? Oh, she went to Howard University. Yeah, you did go to Howard University. You did live in Oakland when you were little, but you spent most of your time in Canada. Your own father disowned you for, some of the things you were doing and you were saying. How do you go on a talk show and talk about, oh yeah, I smoked some weed, ha 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 ha, and you locked up people for doing the very thing that you did yourself. And then you started your whole political career as Willie Brown's side chick. Wow, he was married. I'm not hating on Willie. Like I said, I met him up in the Capitol. The brother's smooth. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. But he's the original Slick Willie. He's not Bill Clinton. So now you got James Clyburn. Today, he gave an endorsement expected to Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Nancy Pelosi probably told Uncle Clyburn, yes, Miss Nancy. Whatever, the guy has no backbone. Look at their records, and I will guarantee you will see nothing done for their own people. People say, and what's Biden's big claim to fame? What did Biden say? Oh, well, I'm running because, I could beat Trump and we're going to go back to the Obama days. Say what? The Obama days? That was the worst time for black people. Why would we want to go back to the Obama days? And I'm sorry, baby boomers, if you're listening right now and you're watching this show, you are not the dominating voting force. If you take Generation Xers and the millennials, you guys are done. You guys are done. And if you don't throw these people a bone, this is why Bernie Sanders is catching on. And your system is going to be overthrown. And whenever we say system, we're saying the old ways of doing things. And it happens in everybody's home. Grandma does everything. Daddy does everything. Oh, I'm sitting here playing PlayStation. That's the problem. When I was coming up, last of the old generation, not that my mom or dad kicked me out. It was the idea, you got to do something. They're not going to help me do nothing. But James Clyburn endorsed Joe Biden, who has no chance of winning. None. Zero. Oh, but, the Obama days was great. Obama was a great president. I didn't say he wasn't a great president. I met Michelle Obama. Not saying he's not a great president. He did a lot given what he was given. But Obama was put in there specifically to stop the revolution. You guys remember Occupy Wall Street that was going on during that time because of the Bush policies? People were occupying state houses all over the country. So him and Hillary, how many of you guys remember when him and Hillary met in Baltimore at that hotel? They bought out that hotel. That is where the Democratic Party met, and they said, Hillary, you ain't got it this time. We're going to give it to this guy because these people are rising up. You guys remember that? I remember it. I was in the military at the time, so I remember. But here's the thing. So they gave it to Obama, right? We had never seen anything like that before. Okay, great. Occupy stops. Everybody's looking at Obama like, oh, what's this guy going to do? Didn't do a damn thing for his own people. But you got to remember, Barack Obama isn't black as we know it, as DOS, descendants of a slave. He's African black, which is totally different. And I've been to Africa, and let me tell you something. When they come over here and they see all the benefits that they can take advantage of, they do so. Because if you know any Africans and people who are from other countries, they come over here and they hustle, and I ain't mad at them. But when you're born here and you're put in a situation to where, think about it. I went to RCC. I went to Valley. You're young, you go over there, you sit on the quad, you think you got all day, and next thing you know, you're at a 2-year college, you've been there for 6 years, sitting on the quad, while everybody else is going to class. But these other people come here, they're going to class, they're taking advantage of the benefits, doing the struggle that was made for us from the 60s. I ain't mad at them for doing that. But when something is going on and it's a color thing, they're like, oh yeah, we're brothers. Okay. Now when you need their help, that's where the tribalism comes in. You're not Ibu. You're not this, you're not that. And when I was in Africa, that's exactly what I experienced over there. Yeah, I'm a descendant of Africans, but I'm not of any tribe. And when you're not of that tribe, they don't want to deal with you. But that's how it's supposed to be. So now we got this Joe Biden coming down, and they say 64% of all baby boomers, black, support Joe Biden, which is totally ridiculous. Well, Joe Biden, he was Obama's vice president. He was cool coming out the limo with the glasses and everything. When I hear a 70-year-old person say that Joe Biden was cool, I don't know what to say. I'll be 50 this year. I am the son of baby boomers. When I hear a 70-year-old person not articulate why I or anybody else should vote for Joe Biden, I don't know what to say. Why would you vote for a man that authored the crime bill of the 90s that devastated black families? But these are the type of people that, everybody. You're a Methodist. Why? Because your dad was. And then his dad was. And so on, so forth. You're a Democrat because your dad was, your mom was, or whatever. It's the thing. You don't know why you're there. You're just there. I was born a Catholic. Why am I a Catholic? Because my mom was. And then her mom was. And so on, my grandfather. And so on, so forth. So with the internet, I don't understand how these people don't know. Why would you vote for a man that helped devastate hundreds of thousands of black families? Oh, well, I made a mistake and I'm sorry. No. Do not fall for the banana in the tailpipe. You can't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Why is it that when everybody, gets elected, they say, oh yeah, when I get elected, even Obama did this. When he ran for his second term, remember during the debate, he had said, oh, well, I didn't get, the black agenda done, but if you guys vote for me this time, I'll get it done. Just because Mitt Romney was going to clean his clock. And he was so dependent on the black thing. But see, I understand why Obama was there. So he has no chance. We were in such an economic free fall that it was going to take at least 8 years to dig out of that. But he's running for re-election. Remember this. Oh, well, and this lady says, I get tired of defending you. You're not doing what you're supposed to. He goes, hey, I know. Let me go to my Obama voice. Well, I know, but you vote for me, everything, because Obama's smooth. I got to give the credit. He's smooth. But if you vote for me this time, I'm going to make sure the black agenda is going to be taken care of. And, don't worry about it. I got it. Right? When you vote for a president the second time, he's a lame duck. So he doesn't give a damn. 8 years of Obama, he didn't do one thing for black people. Not one. But he got DACA done. He got the Dreamers thing done, didn't he? Executive order. He got that done. When you show this to the baby boomers, the generation fail. And like I said, I don't mean to say that disrespectfully because the baby boomers did a lot. That was the generation that said, don't trust anybody over 30. Remember that? Now they're over 30. And we're 12 years from zero. Zero wealth in this country. The black population has been at 13% for over 50 years. Why? They're locking us up. They're shooting us down in the streets. Our black leadership is not leading. Right now, Mike Bloomberg is giving millions of dollars to pastors and preachers to keep the flock astray. Why are you giving people millions? And the sad thing is, you got the bootlicks out there that have no moral compass. They just take the money. Look at your Omarosas. Look at that goat-faced preacher that keeps on his knees, on his knees in front of Trump. Oh, you're the greatest thing that ever happened. Oh, God, you're the great. The guy's is the guy. It's just terrible. It's a terrible, terrible thing. But the baby boomers are voting for Joe Biden, the guy that helped destroy Ray Ray and Pookie's family. Some of your loved ones are still locked up based on that law. And then you have your white supremacists like Kamala Harris that comes in there and says, oh, I'm black like y'all. Kamala Harris never claimed to be black until she announced she was running for president. If you look at all her history, she always identified as an Indian woman, like her mother. She never identified as black. Never. And then she's going to go, oh, Sororo, I went to Spelman. My niece went to Spelman too. No, she went to Howard. I'm sorry. She went to Howard. Oh, I'm a Sororo. I'm an AKA. Well, I know a lot of AKAs. And from your record, Kamala Harris, it seems to me they just taught you how to be a side chick. Because that's how you started your career. And that's how you're still doing your career. So, it's just, I don't know what to say. When you see people that are supposed to be experienced enough and knowledgeable enough to tell us, the younger, and guide us so that we can guide our children. But now you have these millennials that see artificial intelligence. They see warehouses being built everywhere. Everywhere. They have no future. But I got mine. I'm a baby boomer. Let me pull that ladder up. Y'all get y'all's. How? California right now, what's bankrupting California isn't mismanagement of the money. It's the CalPERS system. How can you work for a job 20, 30 years and get 100% of your salary as if you were there? I was in the military for 24 years. I only get 50% of whatever I made. And I was in some real shit. They rigged the system to where they get full benefits and all that other stuff. So now if my son wanted a job in the California system, he doesn't get nowhere near that. They revamped it and they pulled that ladder up, and that's what's going on. So now you got these millennials here that are sitting here going, wow, this ain't working. I'm going off, if we keep going in this direction, the wealth gap is like this. I know a lot of people, I know you guys have been on me. I get your messages, but it's a fact. The average black household family, according to the government statistics, is $15,000 a year as a whole. Now, for those of you guys that don't know math and you didn't really go to school and you just, whatever you did, there's a bell curve of a median. They say the median income of a black family is $15,000 a year. Now, listen to what I just said. Of a black family. A family consists of a father, a mother, and a couple of kids. Okay? So that number is very skewed. And we know as black people, when it comes to government statistics, we are either overly underrepresented or we're overly represented. And we're always overly represented when it comes to like obesity and things that'll kill us, prison population, whatever. So that's a family statistic. Now, when they use that for the white guy, it's a father, mother, children. So you got to use the same statistic for the black family, father, mother. And they only gave us $15,000. 70% of black women are not married for whatever reasons. That's a fact. 70% of white women are married. That's a fact. Why is that? Do we ever ask why? When Lyndon Johnson in 1968 signed the, I forgot the name of the bill, but it was the Civil Rights, whatever bill, and whatever bill it was. Look it up. I can't remember it right now. But he signed this bill, and it basically told the black person, the black woman that if you get rid of your man and get your man out of the house, we'll give you free housing, we'll give you, welfare, we'll give you food stamps, we'll do that, whatever that bill was. That's a factual thing. So when the Now movement was happening in the 70s, and I remember it because I was a little kid, these white women were, oh my God, burn your bra, free yourself. Okay, that revolution was for the white woman to free herself from the white man. There really wasn't a problem between black men and black women at that time. Until they started sending some brothers to Vietnam and they started coming back jacked up, then it started becoming a problem because now these guys aren't the same guys when they, got here. But the point was that revolution had nothing to do with black women. Factual. So when the black women bought into, I don't need no man. What do I need a man for? We need you. You need us. We need each other. And when that generation teaches the next generation, this is where the ratchetness starts. I don't need no man. And, me personally, I get tired of seeing these young women out here working 2 and 3 jobs because Ray Ray and Pookie keep getting themselves locked up because they don't want to get a job. They don't want to do what they're supposed to do. And people say, well, it's the man's fault. Okay. I don't agree with it, but I'll take your opinion. It's the man's fault. Who's raising the men? Well, the father's not there. And I have relatives that say that all the time, and I always tell them. I said, well, the father's not there, but don't you have an uncle or some positive man that you can identify and mentor your kids? That's how it used to be. When I was coming up, there was no such thing as daycare. So now you got people, daycare nowadays is not cheap. That's an expensive thing. So I get a lot of women that always tell me, well, you're just being so hard. The men should be there. Absolutely. And if the man's not going to be there as a father, he needs to be there financially. Period. There's no excuse for not supporting your children. No excuse. But at the end of the day, the mother is the first teacher. And this is where we're at today. And you got to put the blame, and it really is no blame, let's say, on the mother per se, other than her choice of men. Because let's keep it real. Women decide who they sleep with at the end of the day. And I tell my nieces all the time, you better be asking questions. When the guy says he works at a certain place, I think you need to go down and verify that. And so on, so forth. So Generation Fail is supporting Biden, the man that helped destroy countless black families. Now tell me if that is not crazy. It just doesn't make sense. James Clyburn, his claim to fame is he has the best catfish show every year, annual catfish fish fry. Black people, we love to be entertained. We love entertainment. It doesn't matter, but we're 12 years from zero. And people say, what do you mean? What are you talking about? 12 years from zero. Zero wealth. So let me get back to this point. If we have $15,000, and that's the average black family in the United States, white people, because that's the standard, is $170,000. Let me ask you this question. What is the national poverty line in the United States? I'll give you a couple seconds to think about it. Okay? Wrong, and wrong. The national poverty line is $14,000. So you mean to tell me the average black family is $1,000 away from poverty? Andrew Yang was going to give us $1,000 dividend just when I was stationed in Alaska. It's like they give the dividend in Alaska. $1,000. Now, $1,000 for each person over 18 or whatever it was, that's what, $12,000 a year added to your $15,000. It'll lift you out of poverty. Elections are supposed to be transactions. You do not go into a store, let's say Walmart, and you say, oh, I've got $50. Here you go. I'm going to walk out. That isn't how it works. It's a transaction. A politician comes to you and he says, vote for me and I'll do this for you. It's a transaction. Give me, yeah, it's a bribe, basically. You want my vote, you're going to do what for me? Fine. We've been doing that for 50 years in the Democratic Party. Am I telling you to be a Republican? Absolutely not. I'm an independent. You can't tell me that the Republican Party doesn't have some good things and the Democratic Party has some good things. Those kids on the border in cages, horrific. Horrific. And I feel for them and I pray for them. But it's not my problem right now. I got to pray for myself and my people. I've got people in cages. Overwhelmingly, 70% of the prison population is black. Who's crying for us? You got to take care of home before you can take care of anybody else. They have a Hispanic caucus, whatever, Latin caucus. They're supposed to deal with that. But so Maxine Waters was talking about reparations. All these so-called black leaders talking about reparations. You notice that nobody left is talking about reparations. What's the number in reparations? Starting figure, the number. I did the math. I'm a math guy. $17 trillion. That's just to start. But why is it that when we talk about reparations, they want to talk about it? Let's get a discussion group together. When they gave the Asians their money, was there any talk? Bernie Sanders doesn't believe in reparations for black people, but he voted for the Jews from Sweden or one of those people that were messed up during the Holocaust, that they get our tax dollars. He had no problem giving, Bernie Sanders is Jewish, giving his own people reparations. Nancy Pelosi and the Democratic Party just last year voted to give our tax dollars, $435 million, to people on the border that aren't even citizens yet, that are coming here. $435, no questions asked. Okay, what about the black people? Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You don't hear nothing from Maxine Waters. You don't hear nothing from John Lewis. I marched with King, and, I was on that bridge and got my black ass beat. I hear you, brother. But I also looked at your record. Outside of you dedicating street signs in Atlanta to your friends in the struggle, you've done nothing for black people. You've done nothing for your own people. But talk. We're tired of the talking. I'm a Generation Xer. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. The problem is those millennials. With a wealth gap that keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Have you guys heard of the French Revolution? What was that about? You guys heard of the Russian Revolution? What was that about? The Chinese Revolution? What was that about? Most of your revolutions that happen, especially civil revolutions, is because the wealthy get so wealthy that they leave the rest of the average people in the dirt. And history always repeats itself. And that's what's happening now. The millennials are saying, we have no chance. No chance. Every time a rule is put to level the playing field, the next administration comes in and quietly reverses that. And the millennials now see that. Am I saying socialism is a great thing? People get it confused. A communist is a form of government, just like we're a republic. Capitalism is not democracy. Democracy is the form of government. Capitalism is the economic system. Socialism is an economic system. How do you know? They're like, oh, Donovan, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Here's the facts. China, communist government. What's their economic system? Well, it has to be socialist. Wrong. They have a capitalistic system. That's why they own all our debt. And they're in Africa now, and they're just taking their money and just going. I was in Vietnam last year. I saw a building that looked like the Avengers building in the movie. Vietnam is the third fastest growing economy in Asia. The Philippines, which I'll be going to next month, is the sixth fastest growing economy in Asia. Malaysia's number 2. China's number 1. These people are building stuff. When I was in China, they had a road going one direction, I think 12 lanes on either side. I'm talking about they're building stuff. Now ask yourself, in the last 30 years in the United States, if you had to tell somebody in the United States, come to America, come on over, we got this great thing. What have we built here in the last 60 years that you can actually tell people, man, it's great in America? I'll wait. Nothing. We built nothing. Oh, well, the 9/11 memorial, nobody wants to see that. If I'm from another country, I don't want to see that crap. We got Disneyland. The Shanghai Disneyland is $60 to go to and is more high-tech than the Disneylands we have here. Southern California Disneyland, just to get through the front door is $200. And I live here. And I can't go. We have a thing in the military, and it's called, not the kill shot, it's called the distraction shot, right? You're going to distract people over here, have them looking this way while you're doing the kill shot from over here. That's what they're doing here to us in America. The Democrats and the Republicans have us fighting each other because, we're so into sports. We want to be on the winning team. The only people that are losing in this system is us. I don't care what you say. This economic system, the black people are on the bottom. That's how the system has been built. But when it comes to consumerism, we're on the top. Do you see how that thing works? Which is a recipe for disaster. Where are your black businesses? Please, please do not tell me BET, white-owned, own. Oprah sold that out. We have no actual manufacturing business. These are facts. Facts. 12 years from zero, people, why aren't you guys panicking? I'm going to be okay because if the push comes to shove, I'm out of here. I'll go to Panama. I'll go to Australia. I'll be fine. 12 years from zero. You've got to start vetting these candidates and holding them accountable to what they say. They're just putting money in their pockets, and we just love to go along with them. Oh, yeah, I voted. Sometimes voting is not a good thing. Evil is still evil, even if it's a lesser evil. We give 80% of our voting to the Democratic Party. That's why they don't give us nothing. They know you're going to vote Democrat. We don't have to worry about you. We don't have to give you nothing. But if we hold our vote, the Democrats will never win. My uncle, who's a baby boomer, said, oh, we got to get Trump out of there. We got to get him out. We got to get him out. Okay, well, why? What's going to be different? We're still on the bottom. At least Trump is releasing some black people from prison. He's exposing the system that we've known for years. Well, we got to get him out of there. You can't keep him in there. He's unchristian. Okay, who isn't that occupies that office? If Obama cared about his people so much, why hasn't he said one thing against this man for righteousness? Nope. He built himself a compound right there in D.C., made a couple $1,000,000. He's good. He's been taken care of. But what about you? You guys are one paycheck away from being in the street. I've never seen so many homeless. Do you guys know under the Obama administration, white millionaires doubled? They've never done better. A third of black wealth was taken during the Great Recession. And I'm not going to blame that on Obama. I'm blaming that on Bush. But the point is, we, being at the bottom of the economic chain, took the biggest hit. Right here in the Inland Empire, there were so many black folks that lost their homes. There was a mass exodus to the South. I mean, you literally could go into people's homes, and they had brand new refrigerators in there that they just left. They just left all of their wealth. We just lost it all. And yet you're going to go and vote for a guy, Joe Biden and Amy Klobuchar, all these people that don't look like you, that don't promise you anything. What have they promised you? Nothing. But my old uncle, we got to get Trump out of there. For what? Am I going to vote for Trump? No. But maybe if we start holding our vote, the Democratic Party will be like, uh-oh, they're holding their vote. We're never going to win again. That's right. Oh, what about that wall? We got to bring that wall down. If the Mexicans come over the wall and take what little jobs that are left, what am I going to do? Maybe that wall might help me. Now, I'm for legal immigration. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm for legal immigration. Scare tactics. This is what they do. And all I'm telling you guys is vote your interests. Don't vote the Democratic agenda, the Republican agenda. Vote your agenda. And what's important is your local elections, your local officials. As I was telling a lady just before I came on air, the biggest FBI bribe in history of the FBI happened in my city. This is why I've been doing this for 8 years now. I helped expose that. And when I saw what was going on, because I, just like everybody else, I was raising my children, I'm going to work, I'm so distracted trying to live that I just said, got on my knees one day and I said, you know what, Lord, there's got to be another way. And I'm not a religious person, by the way. I said, there's got to be another way. I stopped working, didn't have to worry about it. I said, you know what? I got a pension. What am I doing? What am I doing? And for the last 8 years, I've been trying to wake people up, ringing the alarm. Forget this system, what's happening around you. We are 12 years from zero, people. What happens when you're 12 years from zero? You know what they're going to do? Well, you have no house, you have no car, you have nothing. You're a slave. You're a slave, which means you now become a problem to the United States. Bernie Sanders wants to do away with the private prisons, which he should be. Somebody came up to me yesterday and they said, oh my God, he wants to get away with the prison. What are we going to do with everybody? AI. They're not going to house you in the prison anymore. You know what they're going to do? Ray Ray and Pookie are now going to be sitting on the couch with an ankle bracelet in your house. That's what's going to happen. We need to start waking up. We need to start waking up, people, because we are 12 years from zero. There are things out there that say, oh, we're 56 years from zero. That's not true. Like I've told you before, anything the government says is exaggerated, extremely. So you look at how they exaggerate. They're going to say 56 years. That's not true. Look at all these homeless people out here. There used to be black people in the Inland Empire. I don't even see them anymore. You see a few here, there, whatever, but you don't see them. We're becoming extinct. 12 years from zero, what are you going to do? You're going to wait for grandpa to die and then hope he leaves you something? What's that going to do? Because even when he leaves you something, you don't even know how to pay the property tax, so they're going to take that from you anyway. You'll lose that house within 3 or 5 years. Government statistics say there's not even 100 black millionaire families in the United States. How many pro-black athletes are there in the United States? So if the government statistics says there's less than 100 million black families, what are these athletes doing with their money? 12 years from zero. Ring the alarm. 12 years from zero. Oh, well, Jay-Z's got money and so... You can't take one person, two people. Okay, they're doing well. The whole people. I'm going to tell you this. When that day comes and they start rounding us up, I will be watching you guys from somewhere in Africa. And I'm going to be praying for you. Because 12 years is not a long time to get our stuff together. And that's where we're at today. I hope you guys make it. You need to wake up. I'm Donovan Sadiq. Hey, you guys, if you like what you see here, please, please, please like, share, hit that button, and let's talk and chat about it. You check out the Demetra K Show on Sundays, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and you can check us also out on Friday, Free Flow Friday, where we talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, but I talk about 12 years from zero, and that's not a long time. Donovan Sadiq, the Inland Empire and Farmer. You guys have a great day.